What's happening, guys? Stan here, DD Speed Shop. 57 Chevy 150 junker, 4-door, 2-door, whatever you want to call it. That's what we're working on today. So we left last, have been primered. Primer is, well, it's dry enough. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can make this look less patchy. Now, no promises, but blending paint, I've kind of done a bunch of it, and at the end of the day, just kind of wing it and see what happens. So we're going to start off with a little idea. If it doesn't get any better, we'll go from there. Now, you can get color match paint. I did not do that. I feel like it's so beat up and oxidized, and I guess we can clean some of that off. Look at the front. I mean, what are you going to do? You put the factory paint on here, it won't look factory at all. And the roof and the white is so bled through, beat up and all that sort of stuff. I mean, there's no match in this. This is 60 years of patinaing. So we got our own primer. Now, I think I said in the last video, the way this worked is it was bare metal, then it was red oxide primer, then the whole car was black. Even the roof was black, actually, when I was looking at it. The whole dang thing. Here's on the other side, I saw it. Oh, you can kind of see it bleeding through. But, so the whole car was black, and then the white was added on after. See with the deck lid, you can kind of see how it goes. So, rusty, it would have been metal, red oxide, black, white on top. So that's the same thing we're going to do. We're going to end up with everything black and get that all dialed together, and then we'll finish the white off last, which has a little line kind of, well, actually won't be that too bad, just that one section will be white. Now, you know, there's a bunch of ways to do this and stuff to go trim off and all those sort of things. We're just going to go ahead and mask a little bit. We're going to use just some rattle cans I picked up. This will all clean up with some thinner after the fact because I was a little lazy. It's like there's a paint shortage out there, which, I don't know, everything seems like it's in shortage. So all they have was flat white and flat black in the professional stuff, which I like. This just covers really good. And I had one can of gloss black. Now, when I originally did the door, I used semi-gloss black, and then I just kind of once it dried, I scuffed it up real quick. I mean, it's not great, but it's matched enough. So what I'm thinking is a little flat black followed by a little shiny black is basically semi-black. And then we'll sand through it and do whatever we gotta do. That's the plan. I got some 320. I might have some 400, but I'm just gonna scuff it by hand real quick. What the primer kind of, you know, get the edges all nice. Same with in here, stuff like that. So that's the plan. We'll get her scuffed up, masked up, and then we're gonna put a coat of black on it. We'll let that set for, I don't know, maybe all night, or if it'll just be for a few hours, we'll see. I'd like to get the white on it, and then once the color is on, we'll let it set up for probably a couple of days or something like that. At least one full day. I'll crank the heat in the garage. So once it's hard, then you can scuff through, and we're going to try and fake patina. I mean, it's kind of lame, but the option's either paint the whole car, leave it like this, try and blend it without scuffing it up, which I think will look terrible. We'll look at that. That'll be one of the steps in the process. Or, I mean, yeah, that's basically it. Or do what I'm going to do, patina it. Now, there's a few spots in each door, or each side had, like, that's beating the rust hole that's coming up. So I'm going to, you know, scuff that up so it'll come right through. Like, that's rust. The doors are obviously of different cars, so they're blue. We'll do the best we can, make it look nice, and really, once the windows are in and it's rolling down the road, no one will ever notice. So, let's get prepping. We're all masked up. One step I forgot to mention, I did undercoat or rocker guard the rockers. So I only filmed the one side, but I did both. I just carried basically the the rocker width front to back, gave it a bit of textured, you know, gravel guard, whatever. That stuff says it could be top coated in 1 hour, so we're waiting an hour. But yeah, it should be pretty simple. I'll unmask the bottom real quick. Everything else is good to go. I don't know what I'm going to do around the doors, because I do have to have kind of open and closed, so I might just kind of do whatever. I don't know if I'm going to paint the whole door or not, because I've already kind of done it. It's already kind of beat up. We might hit a few spots of it, because at the end of the day it's going to look ugly. Today it's going to look ugly. Come tomorrow, or the day after, when we're kind of scuffing it up, it'll look different kinds of ugly. But see you guys in an hour. Okay, so here's my foolproof plan. It's foolproof because I'm a fool and I've approved it. So we're going to use flat black, and then I'm going to put the satin or the gloss black on right over top of it. You know, let it kind of flash off and then hit it. I have the Envisions, you know, you go to Vegas or something like that, and there's that guy on the street painting like spray cans like planets and stuff like that. That's kind of what we're going to do. I'm not worried about masking any of the glass on the door. I believe the glass I'm going to do, the guy, it's kind of more expensive because he says it has all the stuff here. So, I don't know if it's just this or if it's the whole deal, but whatever. Masking tape's expensive. We'll see how she goes. I actually kind of wanted to do this real quick first to see how it dries. So it kind of matches that. I mean, it's so flat. If it almost goes chalky, it might not be too bad. But flat black paint never lasts the UV stuff or whatever. So, I don't know. We'll see. Oh, my precious seats. Yeah, everything goes black. I had to think about it for a second there. I don't want to overthink anything here. Alright, so we'll get a coat of black on. We'll let it flash off. We'll do the other side too. And then we'll see what turns out. I'm confident. Okay, so on how it's going to show up on camera, it dried out or it flashed off, and it's definitely, you know, it's flat. Obviously, you don't notice it so much on the bottom here, and realistically around here is irrelevant because it all kind of matches. It's the door to the fender. Right here, I just put this is some flat clear I just put on, just a can of it. So we'll see how that dries. But at the end of the day, you know, I actually think these two might not be too bad, especially if you kind of scuff her up a little bit. That to that. Doesn't look too bad, right? So we're going to leave it for now anyways. If we end up coating it later, we end up coating it later. Next step will be... What will it be? Oh yeah. We got to mask this off. So this stays black and this section goes white. So I'm going to put some masking tape on it real quick. I'm not overly concerned what happens in here, this line, because I think if the line is kind of, well, you look at what it's like back here, right? It draws your eye kind of away for it anyways, and it's a little wavy. So if we can get a little white in there and then blend them together, do whatever we got to do, that's a win. So, yeah, we'll get that on there. I got that flat white. We'll give this a quick shake, a little bit of masking. Fire some white on there, and unmask the whole car, and that's what we're leaving for the night. We're not going to touch it till tomorrow. I've learned my lesson in the past. Don't rush paint. We're already probably rushing it, doing this all in one day. But I would kind of like to see what it looks like. Yeah. Alright, well, let's get set up a camera, or on the tripod I should say. Let's see the progress we make. I mean, look how beat the white is in the back. I don't know. We'll see. The white is way too white. So you're gonna have to darken it up just a little bit here and kind of smudge her up. On the other side, it kind of wore itself right through, so we'll see. We'll just get a little bit of little hand touch to it. See if we can't do something to it. And then when we scuff it tomorrow, it'll all kind of come out. No rhyme or reason whatsoever, other than it looks terrible, and it can't really look any worse, as far as I'm concerned. This line here drives me nuts. I'll have to scuff the hell out of that. Well, somehow how's it look on camera? Ooh, it is definitely a different color. Fortunately, this one has a bunch of rust going through it. Might be able to clean some of that up, and this is actually like mold on the top here, the back. I don't know what we're gonna do there yet. Different, an antique-y white might be the way to go, but that's nothing to fix that little area. The rest, I think, will work out pretty good. So that's really it for tonight. See you guys manana. Next day, a few things have changed. I tried real quick a little bit. Anyways, so I painted the bottom of the fender with the satin clear. I don't know. I think it blends okay, because the patch panel is right there. That's where I stopped the paint. Then I just polished that up a little. This is overspray, but that match is not bad compared to what the door is, flat. And I did not like the white, so I got some recreational white, which that was the cap. It's not, I don't know where you want to put it. It looks better. Sprayed that on there just a little while ago. It's obviously too bright, but I painted right over everything, so I should be able to scuff it down and have everything else kind of bleed through. I did clear the bottom of this as well, just to see what it was going to look like before really scuffing it up. And I don't know, I think it blends okay. I mean, I got to polish. There's all this overspray and stuff like that. Polish it all out, I think it'll turn out like something. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to scuff up around here, here, you know, here, stuff like that, make that look a little rough, and then clear coat that, because this still has to dry. So that'll all be cleared and done, and then we'll mess around with this with a little bit of wet sanding and screwing around and whatnot. We got overspray on everything, like usual, but a little overspray just adds to it, right? Doesn't look too bad if I don't show the rest of it. So here's what I'm going to do to the whole carpet. I'll just do a little explanation before I fast motion it. A little bit of water to keep this stuff from plugging up. This is 400, 320. Kind of gently do the edges. I don't know if it shows real quick. Let's see, it just kind of starts bleeding through. That's all we're going to do. Very, very simple. Hopefully it's to the point where I want. In a few spots, I think it might look okay. I like doing the edges. So obviously edges are going to wear. Stuff like that. You know, just going to be a little cognizant of where the sun is actually going to hit it. You know, you'll have your arm layer up here. The sun will kind of hit the top bits. It probably won't hit the bottom as much. And that's it. I don't want to get a pile of water on this newer paint, but you know what? It is what it is. So, I'll just kind of do this. I'll give her a little, get the drip rail, because the drip rail looks, I think, ridiculous being nice black compared to this beat up roof, right? So that we want a fair bit of patina on. Even right down the metal, who cares? Rust a little bit. No big deal. So, I got you guys set up. You see the black coming right off. Get you guys set up on the tripod in some fast motion, and I'll jam on this, wipe it all down, fog it with clear. I'll do the other side off camera because it'll be the same thing times 2, and then we'll wait until this comes back Yeah, it'll probably be an hour or two before it's kind of hard enough we can start going. You can mess with it now, maybe with some thinners and all that, but it'll just really plug up the sandpaper. So, and I don't have patience, so I'll crank the heat, let it rip. Okay, so I'm working away. Clearly looks way worse. And you can hardly tell I did anything, right? This, it's all brought down. You can see it just starting to bleed through if it shows up on camera. Problem is when it's dry, you don't notice it when it gets wet. Look at that. So you want to be conscious of that. When it gets wet, when you put that, when I say wet, when you put the clear coat on, it all comes out. So that's the plan. I made this a fair bit. So I had that, I just worked my way back. So we have a little there, and worked our way right to the door. This all has to be obviously wiped down, so it's gonna have the residue on it. I started hitting this back section, and kind of cleaning it up a little bit. It's real soft, so you can see it really kind of grabs the dirt. But with lots of water, it's no big deal. And honestly, to get it all kind of jumbled up and get the paint in there all goofy, kind of works. And back here, I started sanding, like the dirt comes off and it changes color. So this matches that pretty close. So I'm thinking this is so much dirt that it really drives me nuts. We can either let that get really dirty or polish this, because this is all rust and gunk. It'll all come out with some Scotch-Brite or a Comet wash. That's the thing, the whole car might just get a Comet wash in the end. Yeah. So I'm going to jam on this, get that taken care of. We're going to wipe the whole thing down, and then I'm going to clear coat this one side, see what it looks like, because I haven't messed with the other side yet. And the driver's side I have to look at every day when I'm driving it. This side looks like shit, it's no big deal. So we'll do that, let it dry, see what it turns out like with the clear on it, the matte clear. And if it's what I want to do, then we'll carry on the other side, and if not, I'll know, well, gotta work a little harder. So let's scuff out the back. Okay, we'll see what goes. Now, sometimes you put clear coat on and the paint's not kind of off-gassing, it screws it up, makes it look all wrinkled and angles it up and all that. It's still a little wet down there. But, we're just going to give her, see what happens. So this is satin clear, so it should satin up as it dries. Man, out of a rattle can, I do feel bad for any actual painters who are watching this, unless you guys love it because you can never do this at work. Luckily here, there's no rules. And when I'm going to go to an edge, like, so I'm going to do the door, this little section around here, I'm not going to do the white. I still want to take a little more out of the white, start to ball up. What I do here, I'm just going to kind of fan it over and be done with it. Got a little clear coat on the handle, don't want them rusting. Alright, well, see how this dries. Be back in a few hours. I don't want to toot my own horn, but it worked out pretty good. Come on. So I used a little of this sauce. This is I don't know. It's supposed to be really good. I ordered it off Amazon. Murph found it. It's like 20 bucks a bottle, but it's supposed to be rejuvenates old paint. So I just did the front fender, just wiped it on. But come on, other than this doesn't match yet. Like I said, it's still. I might be able to start sanding that. We're gonna do the other side, everything except for the quarter. It's gonna look real ugly because I've just painted it and haven't done anything with it. Bear with me. So I mean, that's what the other side started right, looking like. So it's ugly, but yeah, it's still pretty soft. But yeah, so I'm gonna get sanding. I gotta go overspray and all that up. I'll set the camera up real quick. We'll do the exact same thing we did on the other side. This one I do want to get in here a little bit more, except right over the rust I painted. This side wasn't quite as bad, so won't need as much sanding. Oh, I got up in here pretty good on accident. Well, whatever. But yeah, like, come on, that deserves a comment and a like below. At that distance driving on the road, looks just like it should. All right, we'll get set up. Enjoy your seat. It's not a hit with the sander. It's not really doing what I want. Looks, I don't know, it's like got like tiger stripes or something in it. I don't know what side I like better, this side or the other. But I'm going to clear this side, and if I hate it, I mean, we'll just work on that one little section. But, yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. Well, it's garbage, but... Alright. Let it dry for a bit. See what happens. Oh. So I like this matte clear. You know, no one against anybody that wants to clear their car with high gloss to like a patina look. I just don't like the way that looks, where it looks all ratty but then nice and shiny. I think it should be kind of a matte, flat look, so that's why I go with satin. There you go. I think the camera might give it a false look, but the white looks more noticeable on the viewfinder than it does in real life here. This is actually, I did some thinner on there, so it kind of got darker, but after that, it is what it is. The black turned out, I think, pretty good. I did do the fenders with that magic stuff and the hood, and it really got shiny, but man, it's, I don't know, it needs polished. Like, it's bad. I rubbed it on, but, like, this is what came off. It's just, like, so much dirt and stuff embedded in the paint, and I cleaned it first with, like, Windex, but at least it kind of gives the look. I actually did the door and everything, so it all has that shine, so it'll all fade together. I decided just to clear coat the other side, the white. Unfortunately, paint's so boring, you can only kind of do so much. I don't know, I give it a little bit more of a scuff. That side maybe matches a little better. I don't know. I haven't you know, wipe this one down with the high gloss because that's all fresh paint. So we'll do that tomorrow and give her a look. But nothing else I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna get the glass till tomorrow, hopefully. So that's what I really want to put the glass in. Side glass will be easy. It's just put it on the rollers. I gotta clean all the trim with thinner. Again, gotta wait for the paint set up for a couple days before I do that. What I want to do tonight before I go in is I got these emblems, and so Tri-5 Chevys, if they were fuel injected, they had these flags, which one of you guys sent, which is just absolutely phenomenal. I appreciate the hell out of that. I wish, well, I got the letter inside. I should look that up and thank you personally. That, and then I went out because I had those. I bought the fuel injection script. Now, I don't know these things well enough to know, but a lot of them had them in the fender kind of area. But I think maybe that was like the Bel Airs, because this one says Chevrolet, kind of where it should be. But if you look at like a 57 Black Widow, which I mean this obviously isn't, but that's what we're trying to emulate, it goes kind of somewhere back there with the script right below it. So I think these have, like they need like the twist nuts to kind of cut their own threads or something. But for right now, what I was thinking is I'll just drill the holes, put them in there so it looks cool, visualize it, visualize the cut, the hole, and put it on and be done with it for night. It's a good plan. And there you go. Tried looking for some measurements, but I eyeballed it. I don't know. That's where it's gonna be. The other side will be the same, I'm not too sure. But it's cool, I'm not even lying. It is fuel injected. But, camera's dead, I'm tired, and we're out of parts. So, we're leaving it for now. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have tinted glass back of my truck, not smashed. And we'll jam her together, because I gotta get Murr here to help. I got like 2 days where he's out of town. And we gotta do an alignment on this thing yet, which he's always good at helping out with that. And he has to use his old man strength in his hands to hold some glass while he, glue it in. Man, this thing's cool. Next day, we got glass. So I put the one side in just, well, without the camera on. And I also kill matted that one side. I had to take the, well, rip the door panel off, it's on the ground there. So glass is in. I didn't do the quarter window. I actually thought it came with the whole piece, and it didn't. And the little gasket around here is kind of wore out. You can see there's a gap there. So I want to change that. So I'm going to do, if I'm going to go through all the work taking it apart, I want to make sure I get that gasket. The back window, I just window urethaned in, which was a bit of a nightmare. I got extra urethane, I don't even want to show urethane, but it like gets all over my hands. So let's kind of show you. This was on the passenger side. This was where the glass one had been smashed. It actually had tinted glass in it, which is kind of cool. So that's what a new piece of glass looks like. Just has 4 screws that hold it in. Pretty simple to feed that in. The back glass, I'll break this, is that. And it has these little tracks, so I took it off. I just used a piece of glass, so I'll save these for later. Actually, I think I made one of these on my 55 out of 2 4-door ones, so it'd be nice maybe to put some proper ones on, or Danny's car maybe down the road will kind of get it. And then in here, and you can open it, but that has the side, or the vent window glass, and there's a bunch of hardware. I just put this on. And these, my favorite part of the car, they're just sitting there. I gotta get some nuts for the back, but they work. Let's just see. Can't really get far enough away, but it looks cool. So I'll climb in there. So this is still kind of tacky and gross, but I'm gonna let it harden kind of overnight. I think it's get in there with a razor blade, clean all the rest of it off. I got a bunch right there. And I'll probably get on the back side and goosh it the whole way around as well. So I just kind of, I put it in there, pushed it up, held it with some tape, which most of it I took off. Hung it. It actually held in place pretty good. And on this side I kind of went in, pushed it the whole way around, like you're caulking a tub, and then just went in there, and then I cleaned the excess with a little bit of solvent. And that's how it turned out. So, not perfect. But you know what? It's fine. It looks good. Once it's in there, I'll put something underneath just in case it falls. It won't smash down. And I'm pretty happy with it. So much so I cleaned the windshield a little bit. It's really getting there. So I'm going to crawl in there. I'll do the other side real quick. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it for this video. Tomorrow I'll come back and put a little bit more of the goo in there before I put on the garnish moldings. All that'll be hidden, obviously, right? Whew. Yeah. Pretty simple. And hopefully it won't rattle itself loose. I mean, front windows are like that. They're at a bit of an angle. But I think once it's in there, it's in there. You know, gotta rope it in like this. The proper base model ones, they had like some sort of channel that fit in, you had to like rope it in, I think. So this is the modern way of doing that. And this one here, yeah, it's got a window regulator. I think it's missing the bar, so it needs a few pieces, but we'll get on it. Get her together. Well, you can see I've got the window in. This is just a little mucky. So I got it in. I got it to, you know, kind of goosh in there. It's a technical term I learned from my glass guy. And then I just tape it up to kind of hold it and kind of hold it in place. And whenever it kind of got squeezed out, I'm just rubbing it in with my finger, which makes a hell of a mess.
How hard is that to get off the glass?
Pretty. This is definitely not the right way of doing it, and I wouldn't do it this way again. But I'm committed at this point. So you actually, it's all about timing. Life's about timing, right? So you wait until around the paint. I'll get that off right away with some paint thinner, and it comes right off, no big deal. And this stuff is so goopy, you gotta wait till it gets not hard, but kind of, I don't know, give it an hour, and then you can run a razor blade in it, and it peels right off like string cheese.
Like Bondo-y texture?
Kind of. So that's what we're gonna do. It's in there, it ain't going nowhere. This window, I was gonna do it first. Cut my finger. The glass isn't broken. I have another one inside somewhere, the vent window, and that has to go in because the vent window is also the front track on Tri-5s. Well, I think on anything with a vent window. So I'm not gonna put the window in because then I can't get that. So I'll have to look in the basement for those, but I'm not. So that's where we're gonna end it now. We'll dry this off, or this will harden up. I'll get it kind of cleaned up, and that's where we're ending the video. Let this set up for a day or so. This video's been a lot of like hurry up and wait between the paint and now this stuff. But I'll get it cleaned up, and then we'll do one more walk around to get the whole car cleaned up with the. Do you see the badges I put on? Look good.
Hey!
Irish with everyone else. So, but yeah, no, it looks awesome. We gotta find the letter for the guy that sent those. I really appreciate that. I want to send him something back. A T-shirt.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that. So Danny said supper's ready, so we're gonna let this set up for a bit, eat some supper, and come back, clean it up one last time, and walk around and edit the video. See you after supper.
You don't want the people to know that you use it as a workbench?
They're never gonna know. So it's all together. We got the back glass. It actually needs a little bit more time. I took the big chunks off, but it started to kind of bunch up. So
chunk.
Yeah.
Chunk.
It's all in the back, so.
Chunk.
But it's good enough for now. So we gotta get the vent window dealt with. No big deal. I think I have some spare stuff in the basement. And that's actually easy to put in. It's those back windows that were a nightmare, made a hell of a mess. So we'll let that set up overnight. Tomorrow we'll assemble the stuff in. I think the back seat can actually go in there. That's pretty cool.
Very exciting.
Which I actually drove into with the trucks. I folded it in half a little bit, like in the summertime. So
I'm shocked.
I have to defold it and jam it in there, but then.
Do we need to use the Bobcat for that?
Yeah, we probably could. And then clean the whole interior because it's done. Glass in. Wiper motor in because it's not hooked up, but everything underneath is, just the motor's not. But actually I had one. It might have been on your car. I found it cleaning up. These things use vacuum operated. That sounds like it's vacuuming. You put that in there, and you need a couple of T-fittings. The transmission still needs a vacuum line hooked up, and the alignment. So I think that's what we'll be doing the next couple of days. So we can get more over here. We'll set the alignment real quick, put all that in there, and then should be drivable.
You better get Mur over here fast. Your time runs out in
I know, I
2
keep saying
days.
that. I got 2 days left the Mur, so we gotta jam and get that. But this thing should be like done on the road before snow, so that's pretty sweet. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed everything we're doing here. A little bit of paint, you know, patina prep, fake blend, whatever you want to call it. We got her together. I think this thing is great. I know it's my car. I know I say that a lot, but I'm shocked how well it turned out. It turned out better in your car.
It looks great.
So I'm almost going to care more about this one.
Shocker.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video in a couple of days.